What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have so much to talk about in today's video. AMC stock is exploding. It popped over 19% today. In today's video, we're going to be covering what's going on with AMC and what we see this stock doing over the next couple days. We also have big news with Amazon and how they bought MGM Studios for $8.5 billion. We also just have some general market news, and towards the end of today's video, we have a $5.8 million options trade that expires this Friday. And if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, and the big action today was AMC and GME, and they are really exploding. And this is amazing. AMC was still up almost 20%. GME's up around 15%. And man, this was insane movement we saw. AMC continued up all day long. It did start to pull back slightly at the end of the day. It bounced right off of that $20 resistance that we've been talking about over the past few days, but buyers are just rushing into these stocks, and I really like it. You know, on the daily chart, it finally broke out of this like wedge it was in and started really flying up, and man, it's all the way up to that $20 resistance. If I go to the 180-day 4-hour, and I scroll out quite a bit, you can see that it did have a pretty good resistance at $20 for a couple of hours there. And then also some overhead resistance at like 23. So watch out, but man, there's a lot of momentum here. Just watch for it to keep going tomorrow, possibly, but $20 might be a big level in people's minds. So just be a little wary of it. But if it breaks that, it should be a great play.
For sure. So it's really popping up. There's just a ton of momentum in general with it. I know a lot of people are talking about it, and I know you gave some support and resistance levels, but a lot of people are saying that this squeeze will be, this will like not even compare to the squeeze back in January. So I know that there's a ton of hype around it. Overall, it is risky, but it's high risk, high reward. But Tom, we're getting really close to those highs back in January, at least on the daily chart, right around like $20 a share. But like, what are some like top levels we should be watching for tomorrow? I know the IV on this stock is exploding. So like, what is like one or two like really solid levels we should have our eyes on?
The best one, I think, is going to be $20 if you're looking for it to go to the upside. With the upside potential here, if it breaks 20, I think we could see another huge run, possibly like we saw today. Maybe not a 20%er, but we might see easily a 5% to like 10, maybe 15%er out of this one. I think that would be pretty good. And going to the downside, man, I see a really solid support around $18.50. If we break that to the downside, it might be not necessarily that AMC is going to crash and burn, but just tomorrow necessarily it might go down. So just be a little careful if it breaks 18.50, but I'm definitely going to have my eyes on $20. I think that's going to be the biggest resistance tomorrow. And if we do break that, it'll be an awesome run.
Alrighty. So going over that $20 resistance level, if we do break that, the next major resistance is right around $25.80. So definitely keep your eyes on it. AMC exploded today. And of course, it is a volatile stock and it has potential to continue up. But what other major news happened today?
Yeah, the MGM deal with Amazon is actually official. And keep in mind, this is not the ticker MGM. It's the MGM production or movie company. And Amazon's buying MGM Studios for $8.45 billion. The company announced Wednesday per CNBC. And this is really big. This is they're saying that this is Amazon's most ambitious move yet into the entertainment business. And then there was also news that came out that we've heard about this before, that Jeff Bezos was going to step down as Amazon CEO, but the news came out that it's going to be official on July 5th. And Andy Jassy is going to take over. But once he steps down, Bezos is just going to transition into being the executive chairman of Amazon's board. So it's not like he's really going anywhere anytime soon. And he's still going to steal the headlines a lot of the time, I would think. So just keep in mind, he's not really like leaving Amazon or anything. He's just becoming the executive of the board. And who knows, maybe he's just going to focus now a lot on that Blue Origin company and maybe focus a lot more on space or like electric vehicles.
For sure, but this, I don't want to say merger, but this acquisition of MGM Studios, I think that's going to be amazing for Amazon Video. Amazon is already a powerhouse, but I just love how they're just like, continuing to reinvest into different parts of their business. So they're a powerhouse, and, obviously I expect them to do very well over the next couple of years. And then what's going on with just like general market news right now?
Yeah, there was actually some pretty strange news that came out today with a lot of people that affect the market. And, there was some news with COVID. There was news with Biden, Yellen, and Fauci all today. And Biden orders a closer review of the COVID origins as the U.S. weighs the Wuhan lab leak theory. And this is the theory where they think that the virus came from the Wuhan lab in China. Guys, let me know how to pronounce it, Wuhan or Wuhan, but I think it's Wuhan. But Dr. Anthony Fauci is also facing calls from Republican lawmakers to be fired over what they say is a shift in his position on whether the U.S. government funded research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And that's a pretty big statement. You know, they're calling for him to be fired now. And a lot of people are just getting angry whenever he speaks because he really changes his positions a lot. And there's not really a lot of info, you know, for him to really go off of. So it's kind of hard for him to kind of, you know, come out and say the things that he does with a solid position. And I think that that's what people are just getting a little angry about. But overall, you know, Fauci's moved the market whenever he's talked. Also, this stuff about the Wuhan lab theory, this could send the market down if some like relations with China start getting bad, if we find out that this was true or something like that. And, you know, we never know. But then also, Treasury Secretary Yellen is under fire from both Democrats and Republicans alike for skipping an appearance before Congress required by a COVID-19 relief law. So she's under fire from both of them as well. It's just strange to see like Fauci, Yellen, and all this news coming out at one time, but it's not really market breaking news. But I think that news with the Wuhan lab could be pretty big, because if that ends up being true, then I think, you know, the United States will be pretty angry. And I don't know what'll happen exactly, but I think that the relations with China will get a sour, at least for the short term there.
Alrighty, and then what's going on with Ford? It's up around 8.5% today. It is exploding. I'm looking at their yearly chart, and they went from like $5.50 all the way up to $14. So it is exploding. I know that they're really making a transition into like electric vehicles, which is great in my opinion. But what's going on?
Yeah, investing.com reports that they rose today after Ford reported that 40% of its global output will be all electric by 2030, and said that their vehicles will incorporate digital lifestyles by fully integrating best-in-class technology from companies like Apple, Amazon, Google, and Baidu. And I think that's huge, because if Ford really can integrate some of this stuff into their cars, it might drive, you know, not only some of the like people who don't necessarily like Teslas too much to them, but it might drive, you know, a lot of the people who like Teslas, for example, to Ford if they start implementing some more technology into there and start really competing with Tesla on a one-to-one level. But it's going to be pretty hard. And GM is also in the mix there. But man, it's just awesome to see Ford rising 8.5% today. And this company's been ripping up over the past year just on this EV news. And man, it's been looking awesome, but they've been having production problems, which I thought would hurt the company. But this EV news is just totally taking the headlines away.
Sounds great. Well, let's get right into our member of the day and then the momentum plays. So with today's member of the day, we have Sean M. Huge shout out, Sean. He's brand new to the stock and options game. He's been working very hard and he's been doing a great job. So huge shout out, Sean. Thanks so much for all of the support on the YouTube channel and the Discord and everything. And great job, and continue to keep working hard. But Tom, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have Tilray to the upside.
Yeah, the marijuana stocks are really starting to run, but make Tilray go ahead and break above 1675 tomorrow morning.
All right. And then, Tom, you already know what the next one is. I don't even have to say it.
AMC, make it break above that $20 resistance. This one could be a huge runner. If it is above $20 before the market opens, then go ahead and adjust maybe to 21 or 22 if you have to, but make it break 20 before anything.
All right. And then with the last one, we have NIO. It had a great day today.
Yeah, huge recovery. Make it break above 38.10 or 38.08.
Sounds great. So we are watching Tilray, AMC, and NEO for potential day trades tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. But Tom, the bot had an amazing trade with NIO today. It called out NIO calls at $118 each, like at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then later in the day, they popped all the way up to $177 each. So that was an awesome trade. If you want to trade with this bot and with Tom and I every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below for about $40 off. This bot is focused on day trading, but we have bots for swing trading, order flow, premium selling, you name it. And you can get a $40 off coupon in the link in the description down below. But now let's get right into the $5.8 million options trade for this Friday. We are looking at the Tesla 635 strike calls. Like I said, that expired this Friday. Tesla had a pretty good day. Overall, just stocks had a good day in general. Like a lot of, I guess you can say growth stocks. Tesla had a pretty good day. I would say that they are longing these calls, but it's definitely a risky play. Yeah, it's definitely a risky play because they're about like $15 out of the money and they expire in 2 days. Or maybe even a covered call. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty far out of the money, but it looks like Tesla might start to be going back up. I mean, I have a huge resistance up here around $700 on Tesla. And if it starts to go up, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it came up and hit that over the next few days. But yeah, this is pretty far out of the money and they might be shorting it just given that there's 2 days left, but maybe they know something that we don't know and it'll rocket back up because honestly, Tesla's still in a pretty bullish position here and it doesn't look terrible. I think it's a pretty 50-50 play here, a 50-50 call for us anyways, since we can't tell exactly what they're doing. But I would just make Tesla obviously break above the high of today for tomorrow around like 626, I think. But overall, I mean, I would have to say that I'm 50-50 on this one, Mike. This one's pretty tough to judge.
For sure. Well, let's get right into our comments from the previous episode. And with the first comment, we have Hunter saying, if AMC goes above $100 a share, I'll cover myself in vegetable oil and slide around like Gary the Snail. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, AMC is definitely popping up. It had an amazing day today, and literally like 80% of the comments on yesterday's video have to do with AMC, and some people are, I mean, it's just crazy. It has a ton of hype around it. And I think that goes to show, one, how much hype there is, but also, like a lot of buying activity going into the stock. Like I look at these comments and everyone just saying buy, 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 buy. So overall, remember, have risk management strategies in place. Never go all in, but it has a lot of hype right now, and it definitely has a lot of potential.
Yeah, and man, Hunter, be careful with what you say because whenever GME was popping, I said I would make a shrine and pray to GME every single day if it passed above like $70, and it went ahead and did that. So be careful because it might do it. It might do it to you now, and I won't forget what you said. So we'll hold you to we'll hold you to that comment there.
For sure. All right. With the next question, we have Corbin saying, I am learning more every day and I'm growing my account more and more. How do you decide how much to risk on a play? Is it a percentage or a set amount? Love the video. So, awesome job and great question. So, it really depends on like your risk tolerance in general. For me, like, deciding how much to put in a play, it's always a percentage. Like, it's never like a set amount for me. And Tom, I'm sure you'd say the same thing. Really, you always want to make sure, like, risk management is more important than anything else. And that question is very, like, there's a lot of variables that go along with it. It depends how big your account is, what your risk tolerance is, what the market's like, what type of plays you are playing, like whether you're selling options or you're buying naked calls. Like, it just depends, or if you're trading shares. So that question is very complex to answer, but I always go off of like percentages, like with risk.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people, I the way I like to look at it is a lot of times, like I like to look at supports and stuff like that. Like if the stock is, for example, if you have calls and the stock is falling a little bit, and if it's holding support, then I think it's a decent, opportunity to maybe keep holding that position, maybe. And it just depends on what's going on in that scenario. But sometimes, like if you see a good support or something like that, then like if you have like for example, if you usually have like a 10% stop loss, then if it goes like 12 or 13%, like you might want to think about holding at that time. And that's some of like the ways I like to look at it is just like off of the technicals and off of the supports as well, because obviously then if they break those supports and start going down, then the position's ruined, So it's just one of those things where I like to really look at the technical side of it, I think, for it. And yes, the percentages are awesome too. Obviously, like for me, like anything like once you get to like 20% or something like that on some options, it starts to get, into that hairy territory.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like normally, like I normally don't let an option like loss go like greater than 20%, but it's a general rule of thumb. And I think the best way to go is to just experiment with things, log your trades, and just learn over time. And then we have Piper saying, hey, Mike and Tom, missed the great day on GameStop. What are your thoughts on AMD? I held the $77.50 call for June 18th. So AMD popped pretty well today. It definitely held its ground, and I think it looks good overall. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, its setup actually looks pretty decent for tomorrow. It looks like it's trying to run back up. I mean, there's a little bit of a resistance around $80, but looks like it's really trying to run up here. Let me go to the 90-day 15-minute really quick. And yeah, you can really see like it's trying to hold and trying to run back. So honestly, like watch for this tomorrow. I think this could be a pretty good play. And I think that was a pretty good hold there, but it has been flat for a few days. So hopefully that hasn't hurt you too bad. And you can see the IV has kind of went down a little bit this week too. So just be a little wary of that. And there is that resistance coming up like at 79 and 80. So also be careful of that. But I think that honestly on the daily anyways, AMD is really holding that bottom support around 73 to 74 very well, and looks like it could start to pop back up with a lot of these other stocks like we're seeing Tesla, NIO, and some of the others starting to come back.
All right. And then with the next question, we have Dylan saying, what do you guys think of RIOT as a Bitcoin rebound play? It's been pretty beaten down. So Riot is definitely popping up today. It bounced off that support very well. I like the setup in general. I know it had like an increased price target today and then also a buy rating, which helped it pop up. I like it right now. It's not my favorite setup in the world, but overall, I like the setup, and I think you're getting it at a pretty good price. And a lot of times, like with like RIOT in Mara, the premiums are normally pretty high. So, like, for example, we have a 136% implied volatility. So even if you like wanted to sell puts on it, it's not bad either.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it because then you can get some shares lower too. So that might be the way to really go. But man, yeah, I think you might be right. If Bitcoin starts to really rebound, this could be a really good play, especially with how much these stocks could grow. But keep in mind that Bitcoin could still do anything at this point, and hopefully that $30,000 support holds up pretty well, and Bitcoin can start to really recover. I know it was up around 40,000 today, so just be a little careful with it because who knows, I mean, it could still go down a little bit in the short term, but in the longer term, it should be decent. But just keep in mind that like Mara and Riot move a lot more, they're a lot more volatile than Bitcoin is overall.
All right. Well, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks or anything for tomorrow? I think we're going to have a really interesting end to the week.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting, man. We have the SPY like double bottoming down here around 405 coming up, bouncing off of 420 here. If we go to this 5-day 15-minute, you can see it kind of double bottom today at 418 and held its ground and came right back up. At open, it looked very bearish. I thought we might see a sell-off today out of the SPY, but ended up holding those lows of yesterday, which was a weird thing to see, and then came right back up. So just be careful. It could still fall down tomorrow, or it could skyrocket up. I think we're just right along this resistance at $20. So be very careful. I think that we're going to see a big move one way or the other, like I said. And then there's also inflation data coming out Friday that we'll talk about a little bit more in tomorrow's video. So definitely watch that video tomorrow because it'll be pretty insightful.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you want to trade with Tom and I every single day and get access to our bots, click the first link in the description down below for about $40 off. If you guys need any help trading or have any trading questions, click the first link in the comments down below. And guys, come join Tom and I live every single morning at market open on the new Stocked Up live channel. We do live streams every single morning at open. Feel free to join us, ask questions, and talk with us about stocks. And if you guys have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.